प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए, दूर हमसे कीजिए। लीजिए अपने शरण में हम सदाचारी बने, शांति चाहक धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। निंदा कभी भी हम किसी की भूल कर भी ना करें, सत्य बोले झूठ त्यागे, मेल आपस में रहे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें, दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा, तेरा यश गाया करें। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए।
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you, Smita.
Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. We continue our study of the Bhagavad Gita. We are coming to the conclusion of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti is the ability to see God in the world. And then when we move to the next chapter, which is another amazing chapter to study, it's called Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana, is to be able to see the whole world as God. One of the first exercises that we train ourselves in the early morning before we put our feet in the ground is to ask Goddess Lakshmi for permission that I'm putting my feet. From that moment onwards, every time your feet is on the ground, you're feeling the presence of Goddess Lakshmi. So too, if the whole day is your experience that you are feeling Ishvara, that is Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana. This is a precursor to Jnana Yoga. In Jnana Yoga, what is the instruction? Pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, are you seeing the experiencer? That means when I'm seeing the laptop, I'm aware that I'm seeing the laptop, but I'm aware that because of the consciousness in me, I'm able to see the existence outside. So these chapters are the training for Jnana Yoga. We begin with verse 40. Dr. Asha Naik, Madam, your time.
Good evening, Jai Gurudev, Om Guru Pyo Namah. Arjuna requests Krishna to give particular object in the creation as a symbol. Symbol means alambanam. Just as we take piece of saligram to invoke Lord Vishnu and a small flame to invoke Devi or a lump of turmeric to invoke Ganapati. Arjuna wants to invoke on a symbol alambanam to mediate. To fulfill Arjuna's request, we get. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, you're clear. Yeah. Go ahead.
Fulfill Arjuna's this request, we get from 19th verse up to 41 verse, Krishna enumerates of some of his vibhutis. Vibhuti means glories. In last class, Dr. Sundar and Mrs. Jyoti has already spoken from verse 28 to 39 in detail wonderfully. So 40th verse goes like this. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutanam parantapa esham tu deshata prokta vibhute vistaro maya. To put it in order, to explain, paranta mama divyanam vibhutan antam na asti. Te esham vistaro vibhute prokta maya uddeshat. Now, parantam is another word for Arjuna. Parantam means who can give trouble to enemies. That is the duty of Kshatriya. Parantam in English is scorcher of enemies. When used this word in sentence, this meaning is ultimate human being or a person or the better or the best person. In Hindi, parantam means तपस्या द्वारा इंद्रियों को वश में करने वाला और अपने ताप या हीट या तेज से शत्रुओं को कष्ट देने वाला. In Bhagavad Gita, Parantap is used for Arjuna in 4th chapter, Shloka 2, 5 and 33. Also in 7th chapter, 27 and 9th chapter, 3rd verse. Now in chapter, this is the 40th verse, same word is used. Later it will come in 11th chapter as a 54 verse and 18th chapter 4th verse. So Krishna says, Hey Parantapa, I have stopped the enumeration of my glories, not because my glories are exhausted. If I have to enumerate all the glories, list is inexhaustible. We can never complete 10 chapter. That's what Param Swami says. Only few samples have been chosen and explained by Dr. Sundar in last class. What is the reason why only selective are chosen? That in the verse says, Mama divyanam vibhutanam antam na asti. Mama is my, divyanam is divine, vibhutan, glories, antam, limit, no, and asti is there. Endless manifestation. My vibhuti consists of a whole universe, not only Bhuloka, but all 14 lokas. Every cell, that is trillion cells in the body, and everyone in Jagat. There is no end. Everything you see is vibhuti. Like Sant Tukaram and Mirabai saw vibhuti in everything. A smallest action like winking to most complex action. Every particle there is a vibhuti. So later he says, however, these details of glories have been mentioned by only as an illustration. That is, te esha vistaro vibhute prakta maya uddesha. Te is, however, esha is this, vistaro, that is detail. While vibhute, glory, prakrita have been mentioned, maya, by me, that is Krishna, uddeshat, as illustration. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Nice explanation. I enjoyed listening to you. We go to verse 41. Bhaskar.
Yes. Hari Om. Yeah, the verse goes like this. Yad yad viputi matsyatvam srimad urjitameva va athad deva va gachyatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Here, Lord Krishna says, if you see anything wonderful, either living beings or inert things, and you are wonderstruck by its brilliance, like seven wonders of the world, natural or artificial seven wonders, or anything that drives you crazy, from a minutest insect to a mightiest mountain, yad yad, meaning whatever, Srimad, is that which has Shri in different forms of Goddess Lakshmi. Shri can be beauty or attraction, Niti, justice, Kirti, fame, Dhana, Dhanya, wealth and food, Santana, Saubhagya, children and prosperity. All glories are covered by Srimad, and that Srimad is Bhagavan. Urjitam, abundance and valuable like the invaluable diamond. Magnifying the spectrum, think of Tejas, the reservoir of energy and splendor, the sun, which has no parallel to any man-made divine device. Similarly, lightning or waterfalls, or coin out anything and everything. He says, remember me. This exercise of remembering me, the Lord, is an indication of a religious person. Param says, in olden days, when a religious person discovers anything extraordinary, he would hand it over to the temple with the intention that I do not deserve to possess, since he sees the Lord in that vastu. Enumerating further, let us move on to the infinite knowledge, Jnana. Having considered the extra globe or intelligence in persons like sage Vyasa, or genius like Einstein, or talents of renowned musicians, artists, painters, poets, Lord Krishna says, all have risen from me, and everything is Bhagavan's Vibhuti. Sri Krishna reiterates by stating that may you understand tad avagacha, that extraordinary, rich, powerful exhibits is only an iota or a fraction of my tejas, infinitesimal glory of mine. As Vedantans, if we assimilate or cultivate to see the invisible Lord in everything visible then we are totally blessed. This is the very aspect of our class. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bhaskar. That week, Smita, your time.
Gurubhyo Namaha. As we know, the 10th chapter comes under Madhyama Shatkam, wherein the nature of the God or Ishvara is highlighted. In the Madhyama Shatkam, Lord Krishna concentrates on Ishvara Sarupam so that we have a clear knowledge regarding the nature of God, and this topic starts from 7th chapter onwards. It gradually develops and culmination happens in the 12th chapter. In all scriptures, the general definition given to God is Ishvara, Jagat Karanam, creator of the Lord. In the Madhyama Shatkam, Krishna says, if you understand God as the creator of the world, then this understanding is incomplete. So Lord Krishna enhances the knowledge by saying he is a creator and the material to create is also in himself. Therefore, God has both Chetana and Achetana Tattvam or aspect, which we saw in 7th chapter as Para and Apara Prakriti. The complete understanding is Ishvara is not only the creator, Ishvara happens to be the very material cause also. In this chapter, from 19th to 41st verse, Krishna enumerates some of his vibhutis. Now in the Lord Krishna concludes in the 42nd verse. The verse is like this. Atava bahunena kim jnatena tattavarjuna vishtabhya ahamidam krishnam ekam shena stitho jagat. The words goes like this. Atava bahuna etena kim jnatena tava arjuna vishtabhya aham idam krishnam eka amshena stita jagat. Literal meaning is, what use do you have by knowing all this, O Arjuna? I remain supporting this entire universe with a tiny portion of me. Here, the term Atava is something different from what has been already stated. By this term, Lord means to say that he has already answered the questions. Now he wants to tell him something remarkable of his own accord. Having revealed many amazing glories, he says the magnitude of his glory cannot be judged even from the sum of total of what he has described in the previous verse. That is, for the entire creation of unlimited universes is held within a fraction of his being, which is explained also in Purusha Suktam, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Mrutam Divi. That means this temporary world made from material energy is but one part of the Supreme Divine Personality. The three parts are his eternal abodes that are beyond the phenomenon of life and death. Bhagavan says, this entire cosmos with all its variety and greatness, which you see is born out of my little splendor, that is Teja Amsha, tiny part, Atava, or Bahuna Etena Kim. Bahuna Etena Jnatena Kim. What is the use of knowing so many glories? Lord says, understand this one sentence. This one sentence, Aham idam Kristena Krishnam Jagat Vishtabhya Astitah. In fact, I remain supporting the entire creation, or the entire creation is in me. Space is not within this hall or the pot. That is not the correct statement. All the halls or the pots are in the space. Similarly, Bhagavan is not in living beings, but all living beings are in Bhagavan. And so that too, they do not occupy the whole Bhagavan. I am only sustaining them in one corner of me, that is Eka Amshena, with my only one Amsha pervades the world and exists, which means even if we come to know the glory of the entire world with all the details, Bhagavan says the entire world is tiny little glory of his nature. It's like a drop in the vast ocean. The entire world is held and pervaded by me. After having said that, I am in the world in the beginning, Lord Krishna concludes saying, I am not in the world, whereas world is in me. This last verse becomes a seed for Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So when we say God is in the world, it is called Vibhuti Yoga. And when we say that world is in God, that is called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Hari Om. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayaha. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Smita. That was a nice conclusion of the Vibhuti Yoga chapter, where we begin to see God in the universe. We go to the next chapter of Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana, beginning with the Purnima. Purnima, can you begin?
गुरुभ्यो नमः। अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगः, the yoga of the vision of the cosmic form. Having completed the 10th chapter titled Vibhuti Yoga, we are now entering the 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Here, the word yoga means topic or episode. Rupam means a form and Vishwa means the universe. Vishwarupa means Vishwa evam Rupam Akara Yasya, the Lord whose very form is the universe itself. To have the darshanam of the Lord in the form of the world itself, one has to train his mind to look at the very world as the manifestation of the Lord. By clearly understanding Lord Krishna's teachings from the 7th chapter through the 10th chapter, one develops a change in his perspective. This perspective is called Divya Chakshu, the eye of wisdom or understanding. He realizes that Lord alone is the material cause of the universe and he alone manifests as everything. For the purpose of increasing bhakti of the Supreme Lord, Krishna in chapter 10 spoke of his vibhutis, the divine transcendental opulence. Towards the end, in verse 42, as Smita Pai stated, he alluded to his Vishwarupa or divine universal form with the word Eka Amshena, referring to a fractional expansion of himself. Beginning with chapter 2, verse 12, Natvevaham Jatunasam, meaning never was there a time when Lord Krishna did not exist. Continuing on to chapter 4, verse 42, Yogama Tishtotista, meaning become a yogi, that is to merge the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness. So it goes on to say that whatever one is doing, he should always be in Krishna consciousness. Nitya Ishvara Sambandha. This is when we can experience Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshanam. This is the important content of the 11th chapter. Now we enter the chapter proper. Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhya Madhyatma Samnitam Etvayoktam Vajastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, Yet Paramam, this supreme Guhyam Vachaha, secret teaching, Adhyatma Samnitam, named Adhyatma, Uktam Tvaya, has been imparted by you, Madanugrahaya, for blessing me. I am Mohaha Vigato Mama. This delusion of mine has gone by that. So, in this verse 11.1, Arjuna summarizes the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. He recalls the root cause of his panic attack from the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It was the moha or delusion which caused confusion between his duty as a warrior and as a family member. Now Arjuna says, words of wisdom were imparted to me by you. For what purpose? Madunagrahaya, purely for blessing me and to save me from my moha or delusion. And what type of words were they? Arjuna describes Bhagavan's words as Paramam Vachaha, most sacred words, because through these words Krishna revealed the knowledge of the self, Adhyatma Vidya, to Arjuna. Krishna gave an answer to the question, who am I? When Arjuna understood his true nature as the self, the Atma, the eternal essence, he came to know that the Atma does not kill or be killed. It is neither the doer of the action or the enjoyer of the results. Not only are these words Paramam, they are Guhyam too. They are the greatest secret also, because such words can come only from Jnanis, and Jnanis themselves are rare in this world. A reference to this can be seen in verse 3 of chapter 7. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinmam veti tatvataha. This Adhyatma Vidya is not a material science, but it is a spiritual teaching. And by this wonderful teaching, Arjuna says, Yatva yoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. My delusion is gone. I am getting clearer and clearer. Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being or as his friend alone, but as the source of everything. He was humble enough to acknowledge that it was purely out of compassion that Sri Krishna showered his grace upon him and gave him this knowledge. Only through the grace and compassion of Ishvara and a qualified Guru can one receive this knowledge. Hari Om.
Thank you, Purnima. That was a nice introduction to this brilliant 11th chapter of the Gita. We go to the next speaker, Nilima, verse 2.
Jai Gurudev, sir. In the Vibhuti Yoga, just now we saw Lord spoke of his infinite glories. Arjuna's attention was caught by Krishna saying, Ekam Shena Sthito Jagat. Very beautifully explained by Smitaji just now in 42nd verse. 1/4 of me pervades the entire world. 3/4 remain hidden. Though intellectually Arjuna has come to accept this inherent oneness, but he has not gained any personal experience of the unity in diversity. So Arjuna decides to see the cosmic form and appeals to the Lord to favor him with that vision. The student should first of all prove to teacher that he has sufficiently understood the theme of the discussion. So Arjuna in this verse trying to show Krishna that he has completely understood the main theme of the last chapter. Bhavatyayo hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvakta kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi chavyayam. Anvaya, he indeed Kamalapatraksha, O lotus-eyed Krishna, tvakta, from you, bhutanam, of all beings, bhavapyayo, origin and dissolution, vistarasha, in detail, shrutau, have been heard, cha, and avyayam, inexhaustible, mahatmyam, apicha, and also thy divine power. Bhavartha, the origin and dissolution.
You will have to come a little closer to the microphone. Your voice is soft.
Yes, sir. The origin and destruction of all beings have been heard by me in detail from you, O lotus-eyed Krishna, and also your inexhaustible greatness. Many sages, saints, and devotees consider this chapter as very, very important in the Gita. The vision of the universal form of the divine. We have seen the spiritual journey of Arjuna from second chapter, from Jnana Yoga to Karma Yoga, then to Dhyana Yoga. Now we are seeing Bhakti Yoga. With the knowledge, impurities are kept away in the mind. It's like a soap, but through devotion, it's like a water. It removes even the soap. In knowledge, to know more remains ever. One feels incomplete. So only after Brahma Sutras, Vyas Bhagavan has written Bhagavatam. Knowledge increases and decreases, but the devotion never diminishes. It may appear hiding sometimes, but with time, it will reappear. Child doesn't know mother, but it completely in love. Devotion is highest form of love. Person who is in love do not crave for anything. Children live in state of perfection. They want nothing. They don't worry about future success and failures. Lord lives in the heart of children. Their anger is momentary. They have glimpses of contentment. Devotion on the physical level appears as attraction. On a mental level, it is seen as attachment. On the level of self, as a devotion. Raga is very natural to mind. When the same love directed towards Lord, it becomes anuraga. Though gopis are not so well knowledgeable, not like scholars, their love was so great. When Lord Krishna got headache, they readily agreed to give the dust of their feet, knowingly that they may go to hell. Knowledge purpose is to kindle love for divine. Listening to the glories of divine, one can easily soar to great heights in spirituality, as it makes mind to transcend all three gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. Knowing God as origin and divination of all beings, one divinizes one's vision towards life. Surrender becomes very natural. We can see in the lives of many saints, like Ramdas, though he was put in jail, fed bread made completely with the salt, still said it's very tasty. We get to see full blossom of devotion in many others like Annamacharya, Tyagaraja, even Arjun Dev Singh. Even after undergoing many tormentation by king, he was still very composed. So devotion plays a very important role in sadhak life. In all other religions too, devotion is regarded very high. Buddha also declares Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Jains, they too chant 5 important mantras to Tirthankar. Jesus says he alone is the way to his father. Muslims too bow down to that higher principle. In stories of Alvas and Nayanas too, we get to see that Parabhakti. The greatest experienced physicists see the whole world as one wave through string theory. Goldsmiths see only gold in all ornaments. For devotees also, one needs special eye to see unity in diversity, as everything as a part of divine. Arjuna was in great love with Krishna. He is comparing the eyes of Krishna with lotus petals by addressing him Kamalapatraksha. Sadhaka, by surrendering his qualities to the divine, first reaches to emptiness, finds peace in his heart. Then later he attains bliss, and further later culminates this bliss into Paramananda, Parabhakti. It is very easy to cross Maya with devotion. What you think you become. By continuously thinking about Lord, devotee becomes divine. In a game, each moment is joyful, irrespective of the result. So too, the path and the result both are most joyful in devotion. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilima, for bringing in the value of bhakti, to be able to see the Vishwarupa Ishvara, to be able to have the Divya Chakshu. In medicine, there is a phrase, what the mind does not know, the eye will not see. So if the eye has to see something extraordinary, if there is devotion, if there is love in the heart, in the mind, then you're able to see much more. We will continue. Pallavi, your time.
Hari Om, everybody.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
एवं यथा तत्त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुम् इच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम. The word meaning of this shloka is itat yata tvam ataha ivam. Whatever you are teaching me is perfectly understandable. O Lord, Atmanam means description of Krishna the Lord. Te rupam meshwaram drishtam ichhami. I would like to have the Vishwarupa darshanam when I am interacting with the Lord, with the world. Parameshwara means the Supreme Lord, the Shrishti Sthiti Laya Karana of the world. Purushottama means Uttam Purusha, the greatest by virtue of Karya Karana Sambandha. I understand intellectually that Pratibodha Viditam Matam. There is no question of dividing the world into acceptable and non-acceptable. Arjuna says, emotionally I dwell in confusion for what I start interacting. Raga and Dvesh, Kam and Krodha resurfacing all the time. There seems to be a disharmony between what I know and what I feel. Please bridge this gap with Vishwarupa Darshanam to eliminate the sacred secular boundaries in any mind. We are all Arjunas seeking the Divya Chakshus, the mind free from Ahankar and Mamakar. Arjun pleads with the Lord, Dusham Ichhami, Aishwaram Rupam, He Purushottam. This Divya Chakshu or third eye has to be nurtured. 1, by sensitizing our minds. 2, by becoming aware of the higher bird in us. 3, by transcending mundane emotions. 4, by becoming sadhana chatushtaya sampannas. 5, by attaining Brahma and Jnana. And 6, by becoming Brahma, Nishtama. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi. So we need to train ourselves. This is not something that just happens. Although Krishna blessed Arjuna even before he was prepared. There are some commentators who say Krishna made a mistake by giving Arjuna the Divya Chakshu before he was prepared. In your explanation, you mentioned the whole series of steps that we need to do in order to be able to see the whole world as God, because it is nice to see the good things as God, but when you get to see all the terrible things also as God, that becomes difficult unless we have the whole step of mental discipline as you explained. Thank you. We continue to Triveni, verse 4.
Namaste, Doctor.
Namaste.
Manyase yadi tacchakyam maya drashtumiti prabhu yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayam atmanam avyayam. Prabho yadi maya tad drashtum shakyam iti manyase tatho yogeshwara tvam atmanam avyayam me darshaya. O Prabho, if you consider that it can be seen by me, then you show me your inexhaustible form, O Yogeshwara. The use of the vocative Prabho with reference to Sri Krishna indicates that being the creator, preserver and destroyer, Srishti Sthiti Layakarta of the whole creation, he is all powerful. Therefore, even if Arjuna was not duly qualified for a vision of that divine form, the Lord could easily render him fit for the same by his grace and power. In the previous verse, Arjuna expresses his desire, Drashtum ichhami rupam aishwaryam. In the scriptures, Ishvara Darshanam is talked about very often. Especially in the Puranas, we get the description of the devotees having darshanam of the Lord. And it is described as a thrilling, extraordinary, fulfilling, elevating, and as a most wonderful and almost mystic type of an experience. Now, Arjuna's question to Krishna is, the whole universe is Vishwarupa as you have described. I am able to understand. But nothing happens to me when I'm looking at the world. In fact, I'm getting angrier with the way things are going. And therefore, where is the lacuna? Where is the defect? Arjuna expresses that if Vishwarupa is available and if he still cannot see, the defect must be only in the observer, which is him. And therefore he asks, Hey Krishna, is it possible for me at all to have that Vishwarupa darshanam? Tad drashtum shakyam yadi manyase. So therefore Arjuna calls thus upon the Lord. Suppose you think that you can prepare me to have the darshan, you please help me. Because normally the mind must be soaked in the values of dharma and devotion for the darshanam of the Lord, and that can never be brought about overnight. It is a tedious and time consuming process which requires a lot of karma yoga and a lot of upasana. And therefore, Arjuna asks Krishna if he has any temporary method by which he will get a pure mind for the glimpse of Vishwarupa. Therefore, he asks, Yadi tat shakyam, if it is possible for him, and addresses Krishna as Yogeshwara, meaning the Lord of miraculous powers, and requests Lord Krishna for the joy of Vishwarupa Darshanam. He now seeks his approval. O Yogeshwara, I have expressed my wish. If you consider me worthy of it, then by your grace, please reveal your Yoga Aishwarya. The word Yogeshwara also means Lord of all yogis. Previously in the verse 10.17, Arjuna had addressed the Lord as Yogi, Katham Vidyamaham Yogistvam. But he has now changed it to Yogeshwara because of his increased respect for Sri Krishna. Moreover, Arjuna wants to see it with his eyes, with his drishti. He also refers to Sri Krishna as the teacher of several yogas in the Gita, such as Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The yoga in Vibhuti Yoga is the power that creates variety in the one undivided Ishvara. So, hey Yogeshwara, Tatho me tvam atmanam darshaya. May you show the Vishwarupam to me. Showing the Vishwarupa is nothing but temporary removal of the obstacles of Arjuna's mind. Darshaya atmanam, reveal yourself. Atmanam here means yourself, reflexive pronoun it is. Avyayam means the inexhaustible form, because Vishwarupa does not have Ekarupam, but Vishwarupa is Anekarupa Ishvara, and since the Vishwarupa Ishvara has infinite and inexhaustible number of forms, Arjuna uses the word Avyayam Rupam. In conclusion, to realize the benefits of Vishwarupa Darshana, the mind must be soaked in the values of dharma and devotion. When we get purification of the mind through a miraculous process, it will only be temporary, like external aided living, like dialysis, ventilators, etc. Therefore, the benefit of Vishwarupa Darshana to Arjuna was temporary. Furthermore, Arjuna did not fully appreciate the benefits. We will find later that although Arjuna is thrilled with Vishwarupa Darshana initially, he was not happy to continue. Artificial means gives an experience that is not only temporary, but also hard to assimilate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Triveni. Now Arjuna has made his request. Let us see what is the answer of Shri Krishna. Prakash, your turn.
Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Very faint. You may have to come closer to the microphone.
Okay. Now?
Little better.
Okay. I think it's Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha.
Not really.
I'll do it on the phone. Am I not audible now?
Still very faint, Prakash.
I don't know. One second, sir. Actually, putting it on my computer. I'll go back to my phone. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha is the 11th chapter. Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
There's an extra, you'll have to put one of them, the laptop off.
Yeah, okay. It's okay now. Okay now?
Yes, yes, okay.
Yeah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha 11वां अध्याय 5वां श्लोक श्री भगवान उवाच पश्य मे पार्थ रूपाणि शतशोत सहस्रश नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च पश्य से just see me, see mine, O Parth, O son of Parth, just see my Rupani forms, Shatashota, hundreds of forms, and also Sahasra, thousands, hundreds and thousands of my forms. Nana Vidani Divyani. Nana Vidani is a variety. Divyani are the divine forms. Nana Varna, variegated colors, and Akriti cha, and forms. So here the object of perception is the Vishwarupa. On instigating and bar requesting, Arjuna went on requesting Krishna to actually see his universal form. The manifested world that we are seeing is unmanifested, the materialistic world. Similarly, the Lord Krishna also, though manifested, is in an unmanifested form for the other devotees. But he has now given a special power to Arjuna, and that is why here he is called Yogeshwar. In the last shloka, Krishna is called Yogeshwar. Yogeshwar is the Lord of miraculous powers. He has now made Arjuna the Adhikari, who has been given a temporary benefit. And now the purity of mind cannot be brought overnight. Consistently, Arjuna has attained that purity through the Karma Yoga and the Upasana Yoga. It is not a revolutionary process, but it is an evolution with gradual transformation. The eyes that we have are divided in three sectors. It's the Charma Chakshu, skin, Dharma Chakshu, the duties that we do with Dharma, and we attain the Divya Chakshu or the Jnana Chakshu. Now Krishna here has opened the Jnana Chakshu, which is Divya Chakshu, for Arjuna. And Arjuna was lucky to have the Supreme Lord right in front of him. It is only a temporary purification of the mind which has been created by Krishna to show the varieties of all his forms and colors, hundreds and thousands, varied in nature and all divine belonging to the Lord with different shapes and colors. It's like the moon, the sun, the nature. What we see is the world, but he is showing you the universal form. Now he's responding. Now Krishna has made him the Drishta and he is the Drishya, the universal form. The subject is seeing the object. Now the absence of the evidence here is not the evidence of absence. Krishna mentions the absence of the evidence that people need is not the evidence of the absence. The preview, this whole shloka is just a preview. He started now to show him the various divine forms. The story which I remember is like God created this universe. God has created this universe and then he made the first pair. After that, he said, let me now gift them something, the first pair which I love. He gifted them a beautiful box, packed neatly like we do our gift boxes, and he put the best thing in that he could give them was himself. He has put himself wrapped up in the materialistic world box, and attractive packing he has done, and now he's given it to the pair. Here, these people looking at the outer decoration have captivated in the worldly elements. Every object which is there inside is nothing but the Lord himself. Every object had a name and a form. And this is also related to another story which we say the chair. We call an object a chair. The chair is just the form. If you remove the name chair from the chair, what remains? It is the mool padarth. So similarly, the waves of the ocean water, the wave which is just form is nothing but temporary, and the wave is lost, it vanishes. It's again formed in another state. We stand in front of the mirror, we see the form, we see the body, we see the variety, we see the colors. What form does the mind have? Krishna is taking us back to our true identity. And divine, he says, the divine manifests in many, many forms. He's showing his actual universal form to Arjuna. Hari Om.
Thank you, Prakash, for a nice explanation. So we are ready for Lord Krishna's description of how we need to see the world. Throughout the next few weeks, when we are studying Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana, let our whole day be more sensitized to be able to see the whole world as God, to develop that sense of wonderment that everything that I'm seeing is God itself, to be able to accept even the terrible things as God's will, and so that we have a holistic vision. And then that is what brings about bhakti, and that prepares us for the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, when I'm able to accept the good and the bad all as the manifestations of God. With that, we conclude today's class. Thank you very much for all the people who made a nice presentation. These particular verses, they were nothing of something extraordinary. You have done your homework and made it as interesting for us as possible. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.